Good morning and welcome to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius and thank you for joining me on the program for today, Monday, August 26, 2024. It's a beautiful day and I'm happy to be here. This program is also being carried live on our social media platforms. Check us out on our YouTube channel at ZIZ Online and via Facebook at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. The numbers to call when we open the phone lines later are 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. You're listening to The Edge, and thank you for joining me for today. It was a very busy week last weekend. Looking forward to, a productive week. Not a busy one, but a productive one. Busy isn't always good. Let's say busy is really good. So let's say productive instead of busy. So today I will be looking at the opening statement that Dr. Drew made at the stakeholders engagement, which was held on citizen security on Friday. We touched on it briefly last week, but at that time I didn't have the audio and I was just reading parts of what was sent out. So I took out two sections from the clip that I will share with you, where he gave his opening remarks at this stakeholder engagement. And the stakeholder engagement included members of the public or stakeholders in the fight against crime. And that includes community leaders, it includes political organizations, it includes non-governmental organizations, and everybody really and truly who is involved or should be involved in the fight against crime. It's 11:04. Let me share some information with you quickly before we have the clip by the Prime Minister. So, St. Kitts and Nevis is looking to revitalize the local manufacturing sector and protect jobs. So to revitalize the local manufacturing sector and protect jobs, a Memorandum of Understanding MOU has been signed to bring a major textile factory to St. Kitts and Nevis. This agreement, which is subject to review by the government's legal department, marks a step towards bolstering the nation's industrial base. The MOU was signed following discussions initiated during a visit by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Denzel Douglas, to India, where a textile company expressed interest in establishing operations in the Federation. The company had become aware of the minister's travel to India and initiated talks to explore the possibilities of investment. Now, this development comes at a critical time as the St. Kitts Brush Company Limited is set to close within the next few months, leaving approximately 50 employees facing job loss. Since this information came to light, the government has been seeking alternatives to cushion the impact on these workers. During the Foreign Affairs press conference on August 22nd, that was last Thursday, Minister Douglas stated, quote, "That is why I was so anxious to find a factory or two that would be able to replace those that we have lost and those that we are about to lose," end quote. In addition to this MOU, earlier discussions were held in Dubai with members of the Pakistan textile industry. The delegation expressed interest in evaluating the feasibility of setting up a textile factory in St. Kitts and Nevis. This potential collaboration stems from Pakistan's current energy crisis, which has forced the closure of many textile operations in the country. The establishment of a textile factory in St. Kitts and Nevis would serve as a response to these challenges, providing not only employment opportunities but also positioning the Federation as a viable hub for textile production in the region. You're listening to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'll be playing just two clips from the Prime Minister's opening statement at the stakeholder engagement, which was held on Friday. We'll now have a clip by Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew.
address the issue of violence and crime, for all acts of violence are not criminal acts, and all criminal acts are not acts of violence. But I say that to say that it would have been many years that this issue would have been studied in the Caribbean and the Americas. And those of us who are in the medical field would have been gathering the data and sending the alarm that if we don't address the issue, we will end up here, hopefully. But I'm happy that it's not a hope, but we are here. And finally, we have decided to tackle the issue and tackle it from the only perspective that it can truly be tackled. And that is by looking at it as a public health issue with a whole of society approach and with whole of society at the table. And so with that, I want to say good morning to all and to welcome you to this forum where we will sit and discuss as stakeholders, citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, citizens of the Caribbean, and citizens of the world, to address in a holistic way the issue of violence, the issue of crime, and the issue of violent crimes, and especially the issue of gun violence. Let me recognize the head table, Minister Iselin, also the Commissioner, Commissioner Sutton, P.S. Blanchett, and of course, Post Personnel Officer, Ms. Carey, and to also recognize in the room the representative from the People's Action Movement, in the person of Ms. Gray, Mrs. Gray Brooks, and to welcome the various stakeholders who are here. I see members from across the government, of course, and the different ministries and departments, but I also see those from other organizations or NGOs, such as the City Taxi Association, the UN. I see the Chamber is also here. I see religious groups and faith groups, Rastafari group, the Christian group, sports, drug council, political representation, and I would say that the room, of course, has a broad cross-section of our society. So I want to welcome all of you to this first, I would say, collaboration, as it's the start of a never-ending collaboration between all of us who are members of this society. I would say, in the words of our national anthem, O land of beauty, our country where peace abounds. These words penned by the late Kenrick Georges echo the hopes and dreams of every Kittitian and Nevision. They speak to the tranquility, harmony, and security that we as a people have cherished for generations. Yet today, these words ring hollow for many of us as we grapple with an insidious threat, gun violence, that threatens, of course, the essence of our beloved federation. Let us reflect for a moment on what peace truly means. Peace is more than the absence of war or conflict. It is a state of mind, a sense of security, and the freedom to live without fear. It is knowing that when you leave your home in the morning, you will return safely at night. But today, that peace is under siege. Our streets, once bustling with life and joy, are now too often the scenes of bloodshed and despair. The sound of gunfire seemingly seeks to replace laughter of our children as fear of violence looms over our communities like a dark cloud. This has been happening for too long, for too many decades. This is not the St. Kitts and Nevis we know and love. This is not the future we envisioned for our children. And this is not the legacy we will leave behind. As your Prime Minister, as a father, as a medical doctor, and as a citizen of this great nation, I am here to tell you that the situation cannot and will not continue. Violence and crime must be tackled, and be tackled holistically and effectively. Over the past decade or more, we have seen a troubling rise in gun-related crimes, not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but across the Caribbean. The epidemic of violence has claimed the lives of too many of our young men and women, lives full of potential, but cut short by senseless acts of brutality. We have mourned the loss of sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors. And let me say, each life lost is a tragedy, a blow to our nation's soul, because each life is precious. I want to also add that this year, the United States, in its history, for the first time, has declared gun violence a public health crisis by the Surgeon General. So this is a hemispheric matter as we speak. As a father, I understand the fear that grips parents when their children step out of the house. My son, like many of your children, is growing up in a world where the threat of violence is a constant shadow. And therefore, I share your anxieties, your sleepless nights, your prayers for safety. And I grieve with you for every family that has lost a loved one to the scourge of violence, in this case, gun violence. But grief alone is not enough. Anger alone is not enough. We must channel our emotions into action, decisive action, that is coordinated and must be sustained. We must ask ourselves, what is responsible for these senseless acts of evil and acts of violence? What are the solutions to this epidemic of crime throughout our region and our hemisphere? Who is responsible for solving this crisis? And most importantly, what can each of us do to make our communities and our nation safer?
That was Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, speaking at the opening ceremony for the key stakeholders engagement on citizen security that was held on Friday, August 23rd, 2024. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Look, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they are full to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.kn.
Hello Hello and welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius and thank you for joining me in the program for today. It's 17 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. If you're just tuning in, I shared an excerpt or an audio, from the parts of the opening statement made by Dr. Terence Drew at the stakeholder engagement on citizen security, where the focus was to engage with members of the public as to how do we address the issue of crime and violence. And that stakeholder engagement included community leaders, community groups and organizations, political parties, people with experience in law enforcement, people with experience in dealing with at-risk youth, and the list goes on. But the aim of that engagement was to really and truly hear from the community. How do you address this issue? We know people would have their different ideas and their different suggestions as to how we tackle this issue. And so why not all of us come together and sit and discuss different ways, different creative ways as to how we can address this issue. We'll begin taking your calls now, and we have our first call for the morning. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Greetings. Thanks for taking our call, and thanks for information you shared so far. We're hearing. Okay. It was a community thing, as you mentioned just a while ago, involvement with all and sundry. Let's keep it that way. Rastafari was rep, and we give thanks, and we want to steady. We want to remind all and sundry, apart from us being the victims of the greatest crime, the worst crime against humanity. When I say us, I mean all of us. Atrocities that is unimaginable. Rastafari, within the same people, has endured crime and violence in a way that can almost be described as atrocities that is unimaginable. Right through the Caribbean, Jamaica, Dominica, I can just go on and on. Right through, we endured ours here too. So, having said that, we want to let all and sundry know that we know what it is to be the victim. Whatever, in any way that the crimes are perpetuated, in any way, up to the time, in any way. Therefore, we want to warn all and sundry that the situation with crime and violence, if there be a retaliative vibration, it is, as we are seeing, because we are seeing a lot of murders that is retaliation and revenge,
Mm-hmm.
And it can escalate. So therefore, we be glad to hear the sound about all hands on deck, He said it already and we want to repeat it. Because we have a political polarization and divide that is not pretty. And it is not allowing us to tackle things like these in a collective manner. We are still pussyfooting as far as we are concerned. We are still pussyfooting. Because the guns and the minds behind the guns are out there. Right through the 68 and the 36. So, until we arrest those situations that we just described, the guns and the mines, we are wasting time. I think we have said enough. Best wishes to all. Blessed love.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. The phone lines remain open, and we are taking your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. The phone lines are open, and we We want to hear from you, your thoughts, your views, your opinions, your ideas. The stakeholder engagement held on citizen security. Now, over the years, we have been calling for an all-of-society approach. We have been saying that the government or the police need to engage with members of the public on the issue of crime and violence. We've been saying this, and we've been suggesting different means, different ways, different ideas as to how one can do this. I'll stick a pin and I'll head back to the phone lines and take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was great. And you?
Okay, not too bad. Please let me say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay? I just want to send out sympathy to the parents and mother, the family and mother of Milk, the gentleman get gunned down, right? And to tell his mother to be strong. No, Mr. Cornelius, I know you cut me up, but I'm going to talk still. Timothy the best had a good thing going about crime, and it was good. Never mind, it was money, but they did not want to do nothing for what he was doing. Everybody must come on board. Let them try it again and see how it will work. So much of people on board. What are they going to tell them? When they bring in RSS, the money they have to pay. See you.
I have to make sure that she's finished because I don't want her to say that I cut her off. As you get, we didn't hang up the phone. She hung up first, so I don't want you to say that I cut you off. Or maybe somebody telling you to call in and say that I'd be cutting you off when that is the furthest thing away from the truth. It is 11:24 and the phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. So I was making the point that over the years we've been calling for an all-of-society approach as to how we address the issue of crime and violence. We've been saying, look, come into the communities, coming into the neighborhoods. Let us have a town hall meeting. Let us have a community meeting or whatever, you know. Well, we've had one, a stakeholder engagement. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. You're on the air. Good morning.
The first time overseas police come in here to help sink it. So the lady ain't so good.
All right, caller. And for clarification, we do not have to pay for the RSS. That is false. We do not have to pay for the RSS. It is a part. We are a member state with RSS. Let's take this other call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, I wanted to say one thing. We need a change of government. Dr. Joe not doing his work. There was people them who working with Dr. Joe not doing their work. Everybody lapsing. So we need a change of government. Dr. Joe, you need to go back to your office to take doctor's appointment and give back the country to UPLP. Enjoy the rest of the morning.
You too, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your calls. Do we have any more callers? Have a caller? No, all right. The phone lines remain open at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. You're listening to The Edge. It's 11:26. Let me pause quickly on the calls, and I wanted to finish to make the point that I was making about the all-of-society approach and engaging with members of the public. Now, I remember some time back I asked the question, what is an all-of-society approach? What do we mean when we say we want an all-of-society approach? Now, when you hear that term or that word, or not word because it's words, but when you hear that, you think of all of the people who are involved in the community, or all of the people who would be involved in fighting crime. And so that would be the government who would set the policies and the agenda allocate the resources and the funds. Then you have police, which is law enforcement. They are the ones who would carry out the duties of enforcing the law. Then you have witnesses, or you have members of the community like the church, community groups and organizations like Girls Guide and the Scouts, and there's different little groups that children and teenagers, at-risk youth can be a part of. You have the parents, you have the teachers, and all of these people who would assist in raising a child. So I think that is what it means when it says an all-of-society approach. And we've been saying that we need this so that they can all bring their ideas together to tackle the issue. Now, is this the first time that we have had an attempt at having an all-of-society approach? Over the years, we've been, and when I say we, all of those groups and entities that I've mentioned, they have been meeting. The church has met with the police. The police has met with the church. The police have met with the community groups and organizations. And there has been collaboration between all of the entities and all of the people and groups that I've made mention of. So what exactly are we looking for? Should I go back to the point that I made last week where we like the sound of it? We like when we say we want an all-of-society approach, but really and truly, we don't want to be a part of the all-of-society approach. All-of-society means you. What are you doing to help the situation? And that too should be a part of the equation. Are you aiding and abetting? Are you encouraging people to participate in criminal activities? And then when that happens, there is this outcry. Are you giving an at-risk youth a second chance at life? Are you giving them an opportunity? Are you doing them an injustice? These are very important questions, and questions I believe that have been asked over the years. We have callers on the line? Okay, I think we can take this one.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, blessed day.
Same to you.
Yes. I just want to make a little session to the people in St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't agree with some people how they does speak, because whether government go in or come in, everybody try to do the best they could, and I think this is the time for the young people them to come together and finish with their foolishness, what they're doing to one another. Whether you agree with me, yes or no, or whatever, if I have done you something wrong, come on. No matter what the government try to do, whether whoever go in, whatever they try to do, they try to help poor people. They try their best. They can't walk around and say, oh, Peter have a gun. They're going after him. The young people, them need to behave themselves and love one another. And stop their killing and fighting with one another. This is not the time for it. This is time for we to jack closer to God every day. He wake us up this morning and let the young men and women remember that they have a mother. They have family. And let me tell you something right now. They're going after one another. You kill my family, they're coming back for your family. And I think this thing is need to stop. Don't put Dr. Joe in nothing. He is a peaceful man and he's trying to make peace. The policemen, them, they're doing their best. I see it and I can tell you. They're just like human like us. And the young people, them, need to put themselves together, get a little job to help themselves and their parents. Many of them parents crying out because they don't want to work. Mister, I here to say to the government, you all doing all your best. St. Kitts and Nevis, you all ain't walking with the man them with the gun behind of them to know who they are going to shoot, who they get involved with. And I'm here to say this morning, let them go to God. Let them go to church. It's just like how they could go behind the band them jumping up. Let them go to church and give their life to him and think that will be the best for them. Thank you. Have a blessed day. I am Sister French. I'm not ashamed to call my name.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yes, thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
The National Emergency Management Agency's NEMA flagship program From Danger to Safety is back this hurricane season. Tune in every other Tuesday from 1 to 1:30 in the afternoon on ZIZ. Join us live as NEMA partners and subcommittee reps discuss their roles before, during, and after disasters. Get essential disaster preparedness tips, and for the first time, interact live by calling in with your questions and comments. Tune in every other Tuesday to From Danger to Safety, live on ZIZ Radio, Facebook, and YouTube, with a rebroadcast on ZIZ Television at 8 o'clock in the evening. Don't miss it.
Watch the trail of the insects up when you spray them with pop. Flying, crawling, insects up, falling when you spray them with pop. Nothing comes close to pop. Pop, the Caribbean brand. Pop, the #1 brand. Pop, the baddest in the land. Nothing comes close to pop. When the root bugs get in your way, pull out your pop and give them a spray. When you want insects to stop, nothing comes close to pop. Pop, the Caribbean brand. Get serious, get pop.
Welcome back to The Edge. You have callers? Okay, let's take some of these callers. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Okay, greetings forwardly. We spoke earlier about retaliation and the mind. We want to tell a story. And we also spoke of Rastafari endurance to crime and violence throughout. Look, we could have reached to a point, where we take up arms and defend ourselves against what we was going through. Because it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. Rastafari had reached to a point where we was tempted to do that. War! But we just cool our vibes, trust in the Most High to see us through, and look at the situation today. We say that to say this. The ones them out there. Because we talk about the mines them and the guns them, because they're out there and the retaliation, everything is still happening, While we are here pussyfooting and blah blah, We want to say, spread this to the mines them out there. Look pan Rastafari. Research the story of what we go through, what they do to we. And the families throughout. And see if you can hear a story anywhere in the Caribbean or think it. There's something took place in St. Lucia where some Rastafari burned down I think the Catholic Church or some slaughter business. But the case they was tried and they win the case. Whatever it was, Ross Miguel Land come down from Jamaica and try the bridge and win the case. So we don't even want to go back on that. But there is no evidence that we take up arms and do things to people who do things to us and their family. Because our society is small. Even in Jamaica, as big as it is, people know one another in their own way. Out here, where it is small, we know Tooth, Moon and Salmon who connect to who. So it wouldn't be no problem. But we didn't resort to that. We could have done that because we're afraid. Rastafari is no weak cat, you know. And if he's a weak cat, if she's a weak cat, they're not Rastafari. Rastafari has lion heart.
All right.
We don't fear nothing.
All right, caller. We want to take some more calls.
Please, let me seal up what's sealing up.
Yes, please.
So, people who are take revenge and tit for tat and the this and the that, wanna take stock of these things and stop it. Wanna not killing no white people. Wanna not killing no Chinese. Wanna killing on own self.
All right. Thank you thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take some more calls. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm calling from the United States. I was born in the Federation and grew up there, but I spent most of my life abroad. When I was young, coming up in St. Kitts, if my memory serves me right, if you get a criminal record, I don't think you could get a passport. You wasn't able to travel. I think that used to happen when I was young. And we have an incentive to maintain a good character and good record that we was allowed a passport to travel. I don't know exactly how it was, but I remember that vividly. I lived most of my life abroad, so I'm not in a position to be home to see the condition of some people. But I want to say this. The problem in St. Kitts is that the young people look overseas too much for guidance, and they don't think about themselves as a person. Once you get a criminal record, your life is totally changed. And we understood that. All my friends that we travel away at a young age, and we still away, we don't have no record. I don't have no criminal record. I have a driving ticket, and that's all. And I'm 77 years old. And I just want to say the young people is not fear of anything. Because when they look at America and other parts of the Caribbean, they see violence. Especially countries like Jamaica and Trinidad and the bigger islands. We used to idolize those islands. We used to strive to be like them because they set an example for the Caribbean. And I'm ashamed to say what's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis not supposed to happen. Because we are a small country, we have a very small population, but the people are influenced by outside forces. And until we get back to being a tradition and a vision and stop looking to America and other violence countries, things is not going to get better. So all I have to do is to pray for my people in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and hope the Lord would intercede and change that island, because we abroad, we love our native land. And I said that to say this, I still have a lot of family in St. Kitts. And I worried about one day I get a phone call that one of them get cut down. And I'm ashamed to say it saddened me to see what's happening to St. Kitts and Nevis. It brings me tears when I look at my homeland. That's all I have to say. I'm Sonny Boy, and they know me as Sonny Boy. But my right name is Alfonso.
All right, caller, thank you so much for that.
Home, and my sister Dumpling and Jam Down. My sister and brother.
Thank you, caller.
And
thank
I
you
hate
so
to
much.
say I don't want nothing to happen to none of my family.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you.
Religion.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take this other call.
Anita.
Hi, caller. Good morning. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
You have to turn off your radio.
Okay, hello. Okay, Mr. Cornelius.
Yes, caller, go ahead.
A while ago, I called and make a speech here.
Caller, you have to turn off the radio because there's too much feedback.
Oh, okay.
So I could barely hear you.
Sorry about that.
Yes, go ahead. Just talking to the phone. Go ahead.
There's America paying for peace. I asked this question from the time I heard about it. America is bigger than saying it's making money. America never pays for peace. I never hear that yet. So, the person who has said that, they're incompetent man. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. All right, Carly, thank you for that contribution. Let's take this other call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Greetings, brethren. What's going on?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Me? I just listening, soundbiting, and just want to advocate a certain verbal attribute, you know? Brace your seat, man. People in St. Kitts and Nevis. Real fire ablaze, you know. Thing not nice, but yeah. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Out of darkness bring light, firmament, water, and land. And He gives us everything, herbs, animals, fish, everything, so we can plenish ourselves and full joy ourselves. And the first thing we do, we disobey God. We are very disobedient people and ungrateful people. Okay? You hearing me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes. And further on, go on again. Then Cain kill off Abel. You see? The blood run upon the land from hundreds of years ago. And for so to speak, in all theory and philosophy to bibliology and religion aspects. See? We're trying to say this now. As people will look on the positive side of such scriptures and such vibes, instead of look on the downside, every minute you hear somebody send out an order to kill somebody. This thing I go on years ago. Even the church, them and all, they send out order to kill people. Paul, Saul, you know what I mean? Wickedness in a go on long time. So the people are going like keep the deaf, dumb, and blind like it just start. You know, see it a different turn now. God sent out sign to kill off all the youth, them. Pharaoh sent out sign to kill off all the youth same way. Yeah, big man. This thing now go done now, you know. What we need to do is to find the God in way and change the philosophy of the religious belief of the colonial man and tell me about God up in the sky. Until we change these things and the curriculum in the school from the European man teachings and give it back our tribal expression and experience and our culture, then we're going to always live like vulture against one another, brother. The people them see and they hear, you know, they're not deaf, dumb, nor blind. They go to church and say, praise God, Christianity and Jesus, they love Jesus. But when them come class, them brethren and see me walk the street and I try to hold a holy ground and a holy realm, them scrutinize him. They crucify him before they even try to know him. So crime and violence not just going on with gun and knife and physical thing. It's emotional things that go on and vibes, energy, wicked energy that go on. Virgin, tired of this thing, you know, star. You see me sit down quiet for years. Just listen now, going on, bicketing and fight against one another, judging this one, saying this one, pounding the youth them, all kind of thing. But the eye them now look into themselves and find the true origin of I and I liberty.
All right.
Yeah, man, that's why you got this kind of obstacle, obsession, depression, sickness, disease, and germs. Even people talk it and other people. Come on, man.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution.
Peace and love for your players, man.
We have some callers coming in. Let's take this one. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning. Okay, we lost that caller. We have another one? Okay, we lost those calls. The phone lines remain open at, well, it's 11:46. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. We'll take this program right up until noon. You're listening to The Edge. Stay tuned.
Throughout the Caribbean, we boast a diverse abundance of flora and fauna that adorn our countries. This diversity follows through to our people, communities, and families.
As a doctor, I treat my patients with respect and understanding, without stigma or discrimination, no matter the sexual orientation, practice, or belief. Remember, everybody deserves a fair treatment.
As a mother and healthcare professional, I believe all Caribbean children should be safe, happy, and healthy. Let us create a safe, supportive environment for all Caribbean children to thrive.
Let us treat our LGBTQ+ family members with love and respect. Strong families create a stronger Caribbean. This message is brought to you by the Eastern Caribbean Alliance for Diversity and Equality, ECAID.
But Jeff, you leaving already, boss? You sure you could drive after them drinks?
Yeah, I could handle it, You're not too far from here. I'm gonna take my time.